and his deadpan tone is like, "Oh, we're on fire." I think, as with a lot of people, I get my automotive addiction from the family. In my case, it was my dad. He's had several cars over the years. One of them, back in the 90s, was a sky blue Ferrari 308 GT4. Now, the 308 GT4 is the Dino. It's the kind of unloved, redheaded stepchild of the 308 family, although it's my understanding that the people in the know actually say they're one of the best 308s to drive. And he ended up getting it from, actually, a fellow that lived down the street from his mother. So my grandmother, she's 80 years old at the time, and we'd go over to visit, and this fellow down the street, he just noticed one day the guy had his garage open, and there was this bright sky blue 308 taillight sticking out, and he'd bought, restored, and sold several Di Tommaso Panteras over the years. I love those cars, but he'd always wanted, he'd kind of had a list, everybody does, kind of had a list of things you want to own, and one of them was a Ferrari of some kind. And at the time, this guy made him a deal that he couldn't turn down. So we had a Ferrari all of a sudden, which was interesting and fun stories to tell back in high school. But 308 GT4 is not the easiest thing to explain to your friends. It's very easy to say, my dad has a Ferrari, and all of a sudden you're awesome. But then, he shows up to pick you up in it after some event, and it's this weird, as they were, the, Bertoni angular design that's a little bit of a wedge shape instead of, people are at the time, mid-90s, are expecting a 348 or a Testarossa or something, but they're honestly great cars to drive, so shouldn't knock them until you tried them. He'd been taking his Panteras to the track for a long time. We'd been going to an event up in the Northeast, and at least one or two events a year, he'd go and get the Pantera out on a track somewhere. And the Ferrari, then when he got that, it was no different. And we ended up going to several, usually Ferrari Club track events, and the last one we went to was at Road Atlanta. Last one for a reason. It was probably one of the first events after they transitioned Road Atlanta from using the dip to using the turn 10A, 10B complex. And all of the stuff was new there, including the gator strips or the rumble strips on the edge of the track. We always used to go to the Ferrari Club events because I was able to go and ride with him on the track in something other than just like a polite touring session, since I was old enough, 15 or 16 or whatever the cutoff was at the time. So at this event, I had gone out with him several times during the day, and in one of the late afternoon sessions, he had kind of gotten up to speed and came over the crest, I think, the turn 12 crest, and got out a little bit to the left onto those rumble strips, which were also new at the time with reconfiguring the pit lane, and we hit them enthusiastically. So enthusiastically that I actually had to catch the rearview mirror after it fell off from being adhered to the windshield. And so I just held that in my lap for the rest of the session. We came in, and then in between the sessions, we went out to an AutoZone and got a little quick install kit, because it was just one of the ones that was glued to the windshield, so it wasn't a big deal to fix. That proved useful, though, because then the next session we went out, we'd done several laps, and on the front straight at some point in time, I kind of started smelling something a little funny, and I was like, that kind of smells like smoke. So I kind of yelled at him across the car, because we're both wearing helmets at that speed, and was like, do you smell something? And he looks in the rearview mirror, and he's like, in his deadpan tone, is like, oh, we're on fire. I'm like, okay, like a million things cross your mind at that point, but fortunately, being experienced on track safety procedures, he managed to pull the car off at the top of turn, whatever that is, turn 3, I guess, right there, where there's a little kink back to the right, pull it off right in front of a corner worker station. And of course, by that point in time, there are flames like coming out of the engine vent cover, and these guys come running over with their fire extinguishers, and they're spraying the stuff on there. It's not really doing anything, though, so Dad reaches back into the car and grabs the fire extinguisher he had, which was critically, in this case, a halon, so it was a gas-based fire extinguisher instead of a dry chemical or powder. And so he goes back around, and obviously you can't reach the latch to undo it because it's on fire, so he sprays the halon under the car, and it wafts up and extinguishes the flames. So definitely the car did not drive away from the track, but it left the track more or less intact. Everything that was plastic or rubber in the engine compartment, of course, needed to be replaced. Most of the rest of everything was actually still fit. The car didn't need any internal engine work. It still ran and drove after that just fine. Probably the hardest thing was I spent a lot of time upside down on the floorboards of the vacuum cleaner, getting all the dry chemical residue from the corner worker fire extinguishers out of the car, taking apart interior panels and everything else. We would take it out on little, side roads and stuff, because by this point in time I was, late 16, early 17, and my daily car at the time was an MR2 Turbo, and I'd managed not to kill myself with that. So he would let me kind of take it around just casually with him in the car, of course, at that point in time. So, he kind of let me do that. He's like, it'd be cool before we sell it or do anything else with it that you can say you've driven a Ferrari, if nothing else. If no other opportunity presented itself, you'll have driven a Ferrari. So I was like, okay, cool, and it was definitely very fun and engaging. I think the experience of, regardless of what the appearance of the car looks like, because the GT4 Dinos are a little bit polarizing, the driving experience is still definitely what you would expect. It's, the steering feels nice, the gas and brake are responsive, the gated shifter is still there and making its fun noises when you're using it. It was a fun car. All's well that ends well. He ended up actually selling it at a pretty decent price to a gentleman in the Netherlands, I think, with full disclosure, of course. And he had photo documented the process of restoring it, so the guy kind of knew what he was getting into and what had been done and what to expect. And so, everybody was happy. But, the short version is, if you see a sky blue 308 GT4 Dino running around Northern Europe somewhere, we probably caught it on fire at Road Atlanta in the 90s.